In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to simplify rational functions. Now, we first have to go over what is a rational function, a rational expression. So rational means fraction. So what you're going to see is you're going to have a polynomial on the top or an expression on the top over another expression. This is a rational expression because there's a fraction, algebra on top, algebra on bottom. It looks crazy. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. So we're going to take a look at this. So we're going to be simplifying it by factoring and canceling. So if you remember simplifying numbers before in the past, like if you had x to the third over x squared, how would you simplify that? Well, remember x to the third is x times x times x over x squared is x times x. These would cancel and you're left with x on the top. So our idea is get a little more complex than this, but we're going to factor. It has to be multiplying before you can cancel. Can't be adding. For example, if you have x plus 2 over 2, you can't just cancel the 2's. There needs to be a multiplication. This right here needs to be multiplying between the two of them. Like you see right here, if you look right there, there's multiplication going on, so we're allowed to cancel. So what's going on in this picture? I would recommend that you look at this picture. So in this picture, we have a quadratic on the top. And if you do the diamond method, what multiplies to 6 and adds -5 is -2 and -3. So they factor out the top, and then they cancel it, and then you're left with x minus 2. Now, I do want to point out you can never divide by 0, so we're going to look at the denominator and realize that x cannot be 3. Because you cannot divide by 0. Because if x was 3, you would have 3 minus 3, and 3 minus 3 would be 0, and that would not be good. So that's just an overview of what's going on. So let's just go ahead. Let's do an example or two right here. So I'm going to simplify this one. Which value of y makes it undefined? So let's take a look at this. So let's factor the top, factor the bottom. So on the top, I can see that there's a 2y in common. And we did plenty of factoring earlier in this school year, so you guys should know how to factor. So factoring the 2y out, we'll have then y plus 5. Then on the bottom, factoring a 2y out as well, we'd have 2y times, that would leave us with y minus 7. So before going over before canceling right now, I want to look and see when is this undefined. Well, if y is 0 and if y is 7, then our function would be undefined because that's what would cause a 0 on the bottom. So I'm going to say y can't be 0 and y can't be 7 because that's what's going to make the expression undefined because we can't divide by 0. Now that we've taken care of that part, let's go ahead and continue simplifying and canceling. So we would have the 2's cancel out, these y's cancel out. Simplifying this a little further, we get y plus 5 over y minus 7. And that is going to be the answer. We can't simplify that any further. Remember, we can't just cancel these y's out because it's not a multiplication that's going on there. Let's look at another example. And so on this one, we can't factor anything on the top, so it just stays as 2y cubed. But on the bottom, though, we can take out a 2y to the third power, and we'll be left with y plus 8. Now, before we continue, let's figure out what makes this undefined. So 0 and -8. Notice we don't care when the top is 0. That doesn't make a difference. It's when the bottom is 0 that we can't have because we can't divide by 0. So it's fine if there's a 0 on the top. There just can't be a 0 on the bottom. So 0 and -8 are out. That's whenever it's undefined. So just continuing the simplification, what can cancel? Well, the 2's can cancel. The y cubed can cancel. And what we'll be left with is, since nothing's on the top, we'll put a 1 over y plus 8. So your answer is going to be 1 over y plus 8. Last example down here, we're going to factor out the top. So 2y squared has in common, leaving us with 3y plus 1 over, on the bottom, we can't simplify that. It's 10y squared. So what would make the bottom 0? When y is 0. So y can't equal 0 here. Now that we've taken care of that, let's go ahead and simplify. Y squareds cancel. The 2 and the 10 cancel. Now realize that leaves you with the 5 on the bottom. So you're going to have 3y plus 1 over 5. And we're going to have to just leave it that way. And that's that section.